Hello and welcome to Daily Reflection with Aneel Aranha. Today is the 22nd of January 2019. We're going to reflect on Mark 2:23 to 28. Listen. One Sabbath, Jesus was going through the grain fields, and as they made their way, his disciples began to pluck heads of grain. The Pharisees said to him, "Look, why are they doing what is not lawful on the Sabbath?" And Jesus said to them, "Have you never read what David did when he and his companions were hungry and in need of food? He entered the house of God where Abiathar was high priest and ate the bread of the presence, which is not lawful for any but the priest to eat, and he gave some to his companions. Then he said to them, 'The Sabbath was made for humankind, and not humankind for the Sabbath. So the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath.'" The Gospel of the Lord. This is a rather puzzling story because it seems like Jesus is practicing situational ethics. That is, if the situation requires you to bend or break the law, it is okay to do so. But is that what he's doing? I want us to understand this because we sometimes believe it is okay to do something wrong if the situation demands it or if it is for a good purpose. Let me first fill in the blanks before we reflect on this. First, the Jews interpreted the commandment to rest on the Sabbath to mean that any and every kind of work was forbidden. This included something as little as picking ears of grain. This is one of the main reasons for their tussles with Jesus, because they totally missed the plot. The Sabbath was made to benefit man, not to burden him. And with their interpretation, burdening people was what they were doing. Second, the story about David is something that happened to him when he was running away from Saul, who was trying to kill him. You'll find this story in 1 Samuel 20. David ended up in the temple where he met the priest Abiathar. Since he and his companions were hungry, he asked the priest for food. The priest said that he had none. The only bread available was the bread of the presence, which only the priests were allowed to eat. Scripture says that once consecrated bread has been replaced with fresh bread and removed from the tabernacle, they shall be for Aaron and his descendants, who shall eat them in a holy place, for they are most holy portions for him from the offerings by fire to the Lord, a perpetual due. But the priest was nonetheless free to share this bread with David and his companions, and why not? They were hungry men, and what better place to find nourishment than in a holy temple? And in this we understand the point of this story, that God is a God of compassion and his house is a place we can take refuge in. God lets us know what is pleasing to him through his laws. These things are also good for us, like getting proper rest, for instance. But that shouldn't take precedence over other things that are more pleasing to God, like compassion. Matthew's version of this story includes this little detail: "I desire mercy and not sacrifice." If we understand this, we will understand this story and we will live accordingly.